My name is Brady Jacob. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and moved to Miami about 6 years ago. And I produce music under the name Skinny Hendrix. It started whenever a friend of mine and I were beginning to produce. We just sat in my basement at my parents' house for, locked ourselves in for like a week and just started cranking out music and teaching ourselves how to make rudimentary songs. And we needed a name for ourselves, and he always thought Skinny Hendrix was a really funny name. At my first DJ gig I ended up playing in front of a crowd at Scratch Academy right here in Wynwood, and everyone really dug my set. It was kind of like surprise, like, who's this guy? And then at the end of the set, the lady, the host lady, she asked me what's your name? What's your DJ name? And I was like, first thing that popped in my head was Skinny Hendrix. And she's like, yeah, give it up for Skinny Hendrix. My influences range from everyone from the Beatles and that type of 60s psychedelic stuff to anything like more current. Black Moss Super Rainbow is a really big influence on mine. The leader Tobacco. Polish Ambassador definitely influenced me. Miami's influenced me because just the diversity here. There's a lot of people into a lot of different types of music, and you can reach different people by doing different things. Just coming out with new mix. I've come out with like a G-Funk mix that's reached a different audience than my other mixes. I've come out with just mixes that are strictly dubstep or mixes that are strictly trap, and those reach different people in Miami. There's a scene for everything. I started out with hip hop. A rapper friend of mine named Exodia. He's a local guy. We made a lot of tracks together in the past. I made tracks with the guy I mentioned before. His name's Dan Baranowski. He lives in New York. Made a lot of hip hop. I started off, and because it was just the only thing I knew. Dr. Dre is another big influence of mine. Like I respect what he does. He makes a beat in the studio, and it makes it very fresh sounding, very 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 edgy. But then he gets a talented rapper to complement that beat, and that's what I thought I wanted to do at first, because I didn't really know the bass music scene. I didn't realize that was an option for me. So I tried my hand at hip hop, and I did some cool stuff with it, but it's not really what I want to do. I love organic sounds nowadays. A lot of like tribal drums and kind of basses that sound similar to a voice. Something you can actually conceive that you could make with using your own voice. Because something that you can't make with your own voice is almost not catchy to a person. I think it's almost like you don't even understand how it can be made. So how can you appreciate that? I suppose I've started all over the place before. I've started with just a sample, like a vocal sample or a little guitar riff maybe. I've started with drums, a drum track, like kick drum and snare, just make a cool kind of rhythm with that, and then keep adding. I started with a bass sample or a bass line before. It all depends on where I'm feeling at the time. If I had something in my head, that day, and I can't get it out of my head, I'll come home and I'll start with whatever. I'll try to create what I had in my head, and then I'll see what happens after that. Learning how to DJ. And putting a lot of time into DJing, and work is everything. If you don't spend time doing something, or if you don't like and particularly enjoy doing it, then you're not gonna want to work at it. So you just gotta be doing something, doing work at all times. Whether that be branding or promotion or practice DJing or making new tracks, or just going out and being in the scene and listening, hearing other artists and networking with them, then there's always something you can do. Well, house is still king in Miami. Bass music has grown. It's been something that more people seek out nowadays. It had kind of a huge spike whenever trap music became big. Like last year, around this time, around March of 2013, trap music was huge. Any trap track you would play out in public, when I would drop trap, there was just rowdiness, just guaranteed rowdiness, and I kind of rode that wave a little bit. I was DJing a lot of trap music. I produced a little bit of trap at the time. People move in, get into a style, they listen to it, they like to hear it out, and then it gets played out. So you gotta always stay on the cutting edge, and there's always something new in bass music. It's the best. Yeah, absolutely. People demand music now, and the internet gives you a way to just say, I'm done with this track, I want people to hear it. Boom, I upload it to SoundCloud and let the world take it from there. It's great. I think music should be free. It's unfortunate that it's hard to make money and make your living in music nowadays, but that's just the way of the market. It's economics. Like if there's a million people who make music, then there still is a number of people who can make their living off of it, but that's not something that everyone can do. It's mostly a hobby. It's mostly if you're passionate about it, then you need to do it anyway. Sampling is great for music. It's something that pushes it forward. Music, it's unfortunate if somebody feels ripped off by it, but also you're making music, and nobody makes music in a vacuum. Regardless, all your favorite producers, Dr. Dre's, all your favorite bands. I know Metallica had their copyright issues in the past. They've all had influences, and they've all heard licks or riffs or whatever that they've used in their music, but maybe not directly, but it's in their memory bank. They've listened to music all their life. I enjoy bike riding, and I enjoy going out and dancing. I enjoy playing tennis. I was a tennis player all my life. I like to get in nature, I guess. Whenever I feel too bogged down with everything I've been doing, I need time to break away. I just kind of go out, just continue to work, and just keep making new tracks. I've been working in the studio a lot with one of my best friends, Juicebox, Justin Saldish as goes. But we have a new project we're starting. It's called Snopsky Chops, and we've been killing it in the studio. We have about 10 tracks right now. We have made progress on a lot of different hip hop vocals and just crazy sampling that we use. We make all of our stuff we sample just sounds that we hear. We have a track called Room Sounds that we just took sounds in the room and sampled them and made kind of a cool glitchy track out of it. We have tracks with hip hop, we have deep house tracks, we have trap music tracks, we have tracks. We just hit a groove, and we have a really good rapport. I can be found at on any of my social media sites. Just skinnyhendrix.com is my website. Facebook.com/skinnyhendrixmusic. SoundCloud, search for Skinny Hendrix on SoundCloud. Brady Jacob is my full name if you want to find me personally. This is Skinny Hendrix, and you're watching Bass Hog Blog.